Hello, hello. Come on in. Welcome. Just getting going here. Gonna make sure we are online. Perfect. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This was a very spontaneous 3-day event that I'm coming to you with Soulful Illumination with the full moon energy. So it's one of those things that I didn't think about until this morning. And then I was like, what can we do? And it all kind of came through. So I am happy to be here with you. And we're going to just paint for a little bit here, a layer or two or three tonight. And so we won't be here for too long. But a lot of people ask me, how can I deepen my spirituality practice? How can I be more soulful in my life? And one of the things that always comes to my mind as far as practices is just paying attention to the energies that are out there that are influencing us as people. And the moon energies, the planetary movements, are one of the biggest things. And they really do have an influence in our lives. And when we learn to kind of go with the flow of these planetary movements and be aware of them, we can really sync up with them and create an energy flow in our lives. Excuse me. Grab my water here. So we can create an energy flow that is moving in sync with all of these natural rhythms that are going on in our world. And so we have a very big full moon coming up here. And if you're in North America, our full moon will be at, I think it was 5 p.m., 5:10 p.m. on Wednesday the 30th. And so 3 days before, 3 days after, this energy has a strong influence. And so I thought, well, let's do this. Let's connect to this beautiful energy of the moon. Now, this full moon is a blue moon because it's the second full moon in August. It's a super full moon. And the energies of this full moon are very, very strong. And a lot of the energy is going to be about letting things go that are no longer serving you. And this full moon energies illuminate. And that's why I called this the illumination, soulful illumination. So full moon energy illuminates things for us. It's opposite the sun, and we're not seeing the shadow side. It is illuminating all the shadows for us. So we can dive into that tonight. So first of all, always come into your practice with reverence and knowing that you are working with powerful energies here, not anything to take lightly, nothing to be afraid of, but a respect, a reverence for that there are things in this world and beyond this world that we don't quite understand and that are moving through. There's energy out there that's moving through the fabric of energy within the world. So come into it with a little reverence, and I always do a nice little smudge on my canvas here to cleanse any old heavy energies. Our canvases travel to us through the trucking system into stores. Many people have handled them, and it's really nice to create an intention here of cleansing that energy away and starting fresh with our intentions. Okay. So what I want you to do, first of all, if you're here, say hi. Let me know that you're here. And I'm so happy you joined me. I know this was last minute and spontaneous, but we're going to paint tonight and tomorrow and Wednesday. We're going to finish it off. So we're going to be working on the same canvas for all 3 days. And I hope that you will take some time to paint along with me. And so the thing we're looking at tonight is what is in the shadows for you? What is coming up within you during this full moon time that you can begin to release and let go of? We have a lot of energy within our bodies that is stored from past events, from ancestral patterns, from traumatic events, from just any emotional time. Anytime there was strong emotions, there has been energy involved in that. And as we move through life, we begin to realize that, these things that have happened to us are happening for us to build our strength and to grow and to gain wisdom. But we still can have a hard time letting go of some of those layers of energy that have, really sunk in deeply into ourselves. And so each time we have the opportunity, like full moons like this, to allow stuff to come up, and it will, whether you are aware of it or not, these energies come up when they're ready to be released. And we often will run and hide from it or push it away and ignore it. And this is the time when we want to bring it to the surface. We don't want to be hiding from it. We want to become aware of it and become fully conscious of this energy, because that's the way we clear it out. The one precaution, though, is that you do it with love and no criticism, no judgment, that you actually allow this stuff to bubble up as if you are observing, like a third person observing it. And so as we go and we put our layers into the canvas, I want you to be thinking about, what is coming up for you. So some of the ways it might come up is through people saying things that trigger you, right? That maybe irk you, irritate you. Maybe you see something on Facebook or Instagram. That's really easy to see something on Facebook that irritates you. Maybe you just have a dream, a nightmare, right? Of something that's a recurring event. And our dreams are very revealing for things that are going on in our lives. So taking time to think about your dreams and try to decipher. Our dreams come to us, our nighttime dreams are what I'm talking about, come to us with symbols. So what are those symbols representing for you? So I want you to really think about this. Go, okay, I'm going to be courageous here. I'm going to allow these things to come up, and I'm going to be fully aware of them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint I'm going to paint with dark blue. This is like phthalo blue, and some black. And I'm just going to put a layer on my canvas that is this blue and black. So I'm going to grab my palette over here, just out of reach. And this is, I'm using a nice big brush, big, like 2-inch brush. And this is the deepest, darkest layers. So I'm just going to put it on. The one thing I love about this phthalo blue and black is they blend together really nicely into almost like a deep blue color. And I want you to think about just think about, what were the deepest events, the deepest, darkest events in your life. Now, we're not going back there emotionally. Remember, we're observing as if we are a fly on the wall, right? Just a light observation of the events that happened. And these events have absolutely shaped you into who you are today. So sometimes these events really cause us to hold on to some pain and shame and guilt. And, maybe there's some work to do there, but maybe you've already done a lot of that work too. But those memories remain. So I remember when many years ago, probably 15 or 16 years ago now, my son went through a very scary and serious addiction. And addiction, of course, affects everyone in the family. I grew up with a lot of alcohol addiction around me. And as a mom, I had so much shame and pain around this. I didn't see it coming. I don't know, how it developed or where it developed from. But one of the things that really affected me was I should have seen it coming. In my mind, I was like, I'm mom. I'm the mom. I at that time was a classroom teacher teaching about drug addiction. How did I miss this? How could I not have seen it coming? And I should have seen it, and I should have been able to stop it. And all those thoughts were going through my head. And during the time of the most serious events during this time, we suffered in silence. I didn't tell anybody. I told my sister knew, and nobody else pretty much. My husband and I were really feeling a lot of shame around it and scared to death of what might happen. Where's this going? And so there was a lot of this shame and self-blame and guilt that we both held during this time. And so it took a lot of years, a lot of work on forgiveness of myself, and oh my gosh, beautiful things came out of this. These terrible events that transformed all of us, each and every one of us, my son, me, as an artist, as a mom, and us as a family. There was so much gold that came out of this, but it was probably took about 12 years before I truly learned how to forgive myself and move forward. Anyways, this is always one of those deep, dark events that I think of when I talk about shadows. It's like, because you know what? If there's anything else in there, I truly want it to come up and clear it out of my body and clear it out of my mind. I also, 28 years ago, 27 years ago or so, I went through a bankruptcy. So there's so many things that we have, and so much work I've done with women where things have happened in their life and they don't even want to talk about it. They don't want to bring it up. They don't want to talk to me about it. They don't want anyone to know. It's the skeletons in the closet, right? And yet, these are the events that have changed you, have transformed you. You've learned from them, you've grown from them, you're stronger, you're wiser, you're more compassionate. These are the events that have cracked you open. And if we don't do the work around it, it's going to seep out in other ways. It always does. And what I want to do in my life, and I'm thinking you do too because you're here, is I want to reach my highest and best potential. And so some of that is messy work. Some of it can be difficult. But even after we do the work, we need to remember who we are at our core. We need to be able to step above all of that deep, dark shadow, step up, emerge from it, and start to say, okay, those events are not me. What's me, what's truly me, is who I've become as I come out of those events. So we have a beautiful opportunity right now to take a look at some of this stuff. And some of this stuff will be like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's like, you don't have to talk about it. You just need to be aware and conscious that it's coming up. The other night, I recently retired. If you're new here and you don't know me, I've been a classroom teacher for the last 18 years, and I have retired and going full time into my business now, which I'm super excited about. But it's August. It's the end of August, and 2 nights ago, I had what's called a teacher nightmare. If you're a teacher, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A teacher nightmare is a nightmare of first day of school, and I cannot control the kids. I cannot get them into the classroom. They're spread out all over the school. They're not listening to me. There's chaos in the classroom, and this is a teacher nightmare. So let me know if you've experienced this before. But I had one 2 nights ago, and it's just me releasing that part of me. It's time for me to let that part go. And there's a little bit of resistance there. There's still a little bit of resistance because I have been a teacher for so long and I love teaching in my classroom. However, I know the time is right now for me to step into this business full time. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm super excited about it. And I don't want to go back in the classroom, but there's still that little piece of me that from having that nightmare, that little piece of me that is saying, I still want to cling to that. And so I can do the work, I can do the journaling to say, I'm ready to let that go. I am ready to let that go. I am ready to step fully into my new vision of what I am creating in my life now. So what's coming up for you in your dreams and in your daytime reflective thoughts, songs that come up and take you back into a memory? Pay attention to those comments that are made that make you remember something. Pay attention to those. All the little things that come up over the next 3 days, and you want to become fully aware of it and go, oh yeah, that is there. Okay. Now, how do I want to deal with this? Am I ready to let this go? Am I truly ready? So we're going to work through that in the next 2 days. But this is for sure. Sorry, I'm trying to reach my water bottle here. To rinse my brush out here because I'm going to do another layer on top of this. And you can let yours dry if you want. You can absolutely take time to do this later. But I'm going to do it here, right here with you. So my next layer I'm going to put on here is going to be a deep dark purple because we're bringing those shadows up. So I'm going to grab some purple paint here, and I am going to use enough here. Prism Violet. Actually, it's not as dark as I said, but I'm going to use the Prism Violet. Sorry for the rude sounds. Getting to the bottom of my bottle here. And I'm just going to add this in. So we have a very rare time right now, besides the super blue full moon. We also have 7 planets in retrograde. And so this is a very unique time period um, to use these energies. And a lot of this is going to be about taking the time to review and reflect, as I said, looking at this stuff as it's coming up. This works really good when your canvas is dry already, so it's going to blend into my blue and black, but that's okay. So now I'm looking at this layer and I'm going, okay, as this stuff comes up, maybe I'm seeing it differently now, because I'm not that same person that I was when it happened. I recognize that at the time that my family went through that trauma, I had no idea how to handle trauma. I had no idea that myself and my family were in trauma. And so I didn't have the skills that I have now to work with that. So this is a really good time where you can look at, okay, I've been rising up into my light. How else can I rise up into my light? Where else can I create more space and more room for more light to come through? Listen to your intuition. Be patient. Let things flow. Don't try to force anything. Just let it flow. So as you're painting these layers, what memories are coming up for you? What's coming up? What's an old ancestral pattern that might be coming up? A lot of people have the scarcity and the, got to save for a rainy day. That's an ancestral pattern. Got to save all this stuff in my house. That's an ancestral pattern. Definitely where you save things because you never knew if you'd need it. And we didn't have the resources to get new stuff whenever we wanted. Where times are different now. We can let that go. So now that I have a little bit of purple on there, I'm going to grab some magenta. And I'm going to put some magenta on as a top layer. As that deep dark comes up, we begin to see the colors, the beauty within it, right? We begin to see that there was more there than just black. So just let yourself play and be. Follow what feels in alignment with your soul. What is that moon going to illuminate for you so that you can let it go and create more space within you? We have to begin to realize that we get to choose. We get to choose and move from the layers of fear that we've had in our life, the tightness, the gripping, and we get to choose to create something different from this point forward. We get to begin to look at all those past events with a new perspective, one that is of a higher wisdom, one that is of a stronger, more powerful person that you've become. And to have some compassion for yourself and gentleness and trusting that things happen for us, not to us. So keep adding your layers on until you feel that you're good, until you feel that you've got enough here. A nice base coat. So one of the things you can do too is to take some time to review and reflect your spiritual practice. So we are in a collective awakening of more and more people wanting to bring more spirituality or higher consciousness into their life. And so where are you at with that? We are creating more space for that right now. Is this something that you want to do? Taking time to review and reflect where you are. Taking time to just, honor that part of yourself that wants to commit to it more. Are you actually doing it, or only when life isn't too busy? Are you taking time in nature? Are you doing that meditative practice? Or could you maybe take some more time? Be more committed? Do you let other things get in the way? This is you, your soul. This is your life. Okay, so I think we got our first layer in. As we move through this, we're going to come into greater alignment with our own heart, with our own soul, and create more space for the light to come through those cracks in our heart, the light to come through and heal anything else that needs to be. It's like cleaning out your closet, right? Just get rid of the junk so you have more space for the good stuff to go shopping. All right, you guys. So this is the first layer for tonight, and hopefully you can join me tomorrow. Tomorrow is at 10 a.m. and I will come in here and we'll do our next layer together and see what comes out for us through this full moon energy. Okay, so be aware of your emotions. Your emotions are the ones that are kind of revealing to you what's coming up and ready to be taken care of. Be courageous and be compassionate with yourself. Just be gentle. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me here. And we will add on to our canvas tomorrow. All right. Bye for now, you guys.